Hi guys, on the part 3 we will be doing our running animation and making things look better. Now that we have our standing animation, let's add the running animation too. I created a new file on my assets and character 0 folder for running animation, which I used as separate. You can see this is how our character will be looking when running. I just created a new folder and put the running animation inside. So now we're already calling our standing animation in our main loop, in our game loop. Let's create another list so we can choose between which list we want to call, running or standing. So we have our animated player images. I will make another list called animation type. Yeah, let's call it animation types, and we will have standing, and we will have running. We are already using standing, and now we also have running, which put too many ends. Now that we will fix our for loop for animation type in animation types, which if the type is standing, it will call standings images in a row, so it will look like animation. If it's running, it will call running picture, so it will look like running animation. So for that it's simple, just like the way we put the numbers before. I will add another this is our file location, so it will be calling depending on the animation type, which will be animation type I. Let's see if it's working. As you can see, they are coming next to each other, which is good. At least now we see our images are working, but it's not how we want it to look. We want it to stay standing animation when we are not moving, and have running animation when we move. So we can fix it. First of all, let's have a temp list so we can get the animation we want. And instead of animated player images here, we will appending temp list our player images, and instead of animated player images having the player image, it will have the temp list. So this way our temp list will be running or standing characters, not both at the same time. We are already giving the animated player images to the character, so let's go to the character class and check what has changed. Of course, we had animated player images, but now it is a double list, in a list inside of the list. It was like this, but now it has double list. To be able to access this, we need to have another index here, which we will call 0 for now. And as you know from the Python, 0 means the first value, which is standing, and 1 is the second value, which is running. First, let's put 0 for the standing animation. We fix here, but we have two more places we have to fix, which is here. We want to get the first list, and here again we will need to specify 0. Now let's check if it's working. And as you can see, our character is standing. And if we change this to 1, it will have the running animation, which is, we don't want to do it by manually, so let's create another variable called self dot, we can call it action, which will be 0 for the beginning. So when it is 0, it will show us standing animations, and when it is 1, it will show us our running animations. So instead of calling 0 and 1 for the files, we can just call self.action in our list. So we will have 1 or 0 depending on the situation, and so we can just change our zeros. And now let's try if it's still working. Yes, we have our standing animation. Let's change action 0 to 1. And now we have our running animation, which is quite cute. Now let's automate this so we can change automatically if we want to stand, or then when we press the button. So for this I will have another new variable checking if we are running. As a default it will be false, and we will check if we are running in, of course, in our move function. Check if we are running. As you know, when we are running, delta x and delta y changes. So if we are running, it will be self-explanatory. When we are running, if delta x not equals 0 or delta y not equals 0, which means we are moving, our variable will return true, because as a default it was false. If we are moving, it will be bigger than 0, so it will be true, and we will know we are moving. And also in update function, we need to update our character movement. Oops. We will check if we are running, and we will update our action. So we already have our action variable here, and now we need a way to update this. So why not have a new function? We can call it update action. It's already helping us, and we will check if we have action. As you know, our default action was false, and we will get a new action. If our new action is not the same as the current action, which means we have a new, we are moving or stopping, we are changing our situation, the self action will be the new action, and the frame index will be 0, because then when we change animations between running and standing, we want everything to clean. We will have the frame index of 0. As you remember, we were calling this for our animation. Also we were calling update time and index for our animations. We will clean our index, and we will also clean our time, so we can have a new clean beginning for our new animation cycle. And now we have update action function. We need to call it in the update, so it can be updated. We will check if self is running. If it's 2, we will update action to 1, which will update action to running. Else we will update action to 0. If we are running is 2, we will be running, so which will give it us 1. If we are stopping, it will give us 0 as a false. Now let's see if it's working. As you can see, it's standing, and when we run, it's running. Now we have our simple running animation, and it looks much better. I noticed I made a simple mistake, which is a typo, and I will fix it quickly. So in assets we have our running, and also we will checking for standing and running files, folders, and it will give us standing or running animation when we bulk. This was all for this video. I will be adding part 3 to GitHub, and on the next video we can add more characters.